in this installment, I'm going to be installing the SVE Underdrive crank and water pump pulleys right here. So to do this, you obviously need an 18 millimeter socket with a pry bar to or a breaker bar or something to get the tensioner loose to get the belt off. But before you get the belt off, you want to break your water pump pulley bolts and your crank pulley bolts loose. Now, if you were doing the alternator pulley too, you would need to go ahead and break that one loose as well, just to save yourself some heartache. The belt with the engine off will help keep the pulleys in place while you do that. So I've already done that. It's 11 millimeter for the water pump and a 14 millimeter in my case for the crank pulley bolts. So they're already broke loose. So next I'm going to get the serpentine belt off. It's always a good idea, if you're not 100% sure on your belt routing, to just take a picture, which is something I already did. So my serpentine belt is out. I'll set that off to the side for now and use it for test fitting later. So what that leaves us with, just got the pulley and the belt to do. Once I get those off, I'll put the new ones on, and if I were just doing the swap, I'd put it back on, you put the belt back on. You may have to adjust your belt to get a new one, but at any rate, I'm also going to be moving on to the alternator after this, so we'll get to that. But I'll be back in just a few minutes. Alright, so when it comes to installing the underdrive pulleys, they come with, because you wouldn't be able to, on the crank pulley, you wouldn't be able to get a hex, the factory bolt. Let me show y'all that real quick. I'm trying to show y'all this image. You wouldn't be able to get the factory bolt to tighten up on that, so they supply Allen key bolts, and they are a what size is that? I always forget where the size was on these. I think it's on the shaft. 8. So they're an 8. So if you don't have Allen key way bolts or sockets, I suggest you get some. It changes the game when it comes to putting anything large with an Allen key on. Instead of tightening with Allen wrenches, you can use an actual ratchet. So, and find my ratchet. just like that. The crank pulley is on. Turn the light on. Slide y'all down in there. Hopefully y'all are seeing this. I can't, but it's really simple. Next, we'll put the water pump pulley on with the factory hardware. That way, common sense, make the pulleys line up. Now, I may have to clean that snout off. So, all right, so basically what I did, got it tapped on and lined up, got the bolts just barely started. They're long enough to do that. And then I basically did like I worked it, took one hand holding the pulley as best I could, and just worked it on like a wheel, and just used the bolts to drive it, you know, going like top to bottom, left, right, top, bottom, left, right, and just slowly worked it back on. And it's pretty well, yep, it's in line as near as I can tell. So next what I got to do is get the belt back on. And once I do that, I'll get it all the way tight. And that's the installation of Underdrive pulleys. So stay tuned. Well, there you have it. The belt is on, although it's a little loose for my taste, so I may try to go with either get a new belt this size or try and get like let's say a 1/2 inch shorter belt. It's a little bit too much movement for my taste, but it should work enough for me to do all the other stuff and get everything tested. So anyway, that's how you install Underdrive pulleys. Really and truly, it's been like 4 hours since I started, but at the same time, if I would have just done this and this alone, it probably would have taken me 30 minutes at most. You know, if you know what you're doing, especially since I had everything out the way, this really was only like 15 minutes worth of work. So pretty simple install. Until next time, guys, that's another project down. I'll be back.